Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. But first, you gotta go, Mama. Okay. And so, our card tonight is the High Priestess. Always so happy to see her. And let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And so, if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell when you do, and that will let you know when the next videos are coming out. Also, I think that's it. Oh, no, it is free to subscribe. Well, it's like, what's the other part I'm supposed to say? Yeah, it is free to subscribe. All right. Oh, so we have the sacred cow. I love that. A visitation from Hathor. Maybe Hera. We'll just turn this for a minute and see. Okay, so I want to start definitely with the cow. And you can see we have the head here, okay, and the body here. And so immediately, I think we have the strong presence of motherhood. We know that Hathor, or the Greek, I guess, kind of a counterpart, composite maybe, of Hathor would be Hera. Okay, both are related to the sacred cow. Both are patrons of childbirth, motherhood, somewhat marriage, right? And maybe the spiritual but also functional bond in that kind of family dynamic. Okay, so I look at this and I really think there's a sense of well, we have the High Priestess, we have the this, very central goddess figure, one that does definitely bring up these feelings of great intuition, of being fully self-possessed, somebody who is, who belongs to no one, right? But also belongs to everyone. She only belongs to herself, but she also shares herself with those whom she is devoted and whom are devoted to her. Okay, and so good fortune, abundance, fertility, a sense of safety here. I feel like there's this real intense sense of like a family bond, okay, going through a period of time where there is a closeness. There is not only just a sense of getting along, but there is the love. But beyond that, there is a sense of divinity, of a holy union among those who have chosen to be in one another's lives. And I feel like you are really in a place where you are helping facilitate this bond. I think that you are probably somebody who kind of keeps things together in this family unit. You are somebody, TT, you're hitting me right in the face with your tail, Mama. We're not going to play around on the table, okay? Oh my goodness. So I think that you're somebody that keeps everything kind of together. Okay. I think you're the person who's like calling everybody up saying, hey, let's have lunch. Let's have a dinner party. So-and-so has a game this weekend. Let's all get together and go watch their soccer game or, whatever. Insert whatever it is. But these kind of really family-oriented, very kind of building that strengthening, that united feeling. Okay, and I feel like this is coming with a lot of ease for you. I also think that there's probably a real sense of the goddess in your life right now. I feel like you're very devoted to this, the divine feminine consciousness. Okay, if you don't subscribe to the idea of the goddess, and that's fine. Think of it as an archetype, right? These are archetypes within our life. We see them in the tarot. We see them in things like Jungian psychology. We see them in storytelling. And so each archetype has its attributes. And this is where we kind of get the ideas of what does it mean for this to be active in our life? So there is a sense of sacred knowledge, a sense of taking that knowledge that you are receiving either through study, through prayer, divine revelation, through, merely just living your life, right? We learn a lot about spirituality, about our relationship with the divine through our ordeals in our daily life. And so we take that knowledge that we gain, right? And then when we have the high priestess, when we have these middle goddesses like Hathor, these are kind of the great transmuters of knowledge, which is usually thought of as somewhat of a masculine principle, at least philosophically, or within things like Gnosticism or Hermeticism and so on. But then we see that we have this goddess form, and this is the process of transmuting that knowledge into wisdom. Okay, and wisdom is something that is not just the data, right? You can read books all day long. You can learn about things in your life all day long, but until you figure out how to put them into functional use, and through that functional use, applying them to your processes, to whatever you're doing, so then it comes out kind of on the other side as wisdom, right? Because you've done it. You've experienced it. You've been in it. It's not some concept. It's just out there floating around. This is something that you know the ins and outs of because you've been through it. Okay, you've used the procedures. You've used the techniques. You've spent time here. And so I feel that this really is very much about you being in a place of family, maybe in that motherhood role, maybe in, the matriarchal role within your family, but maybe not. Maybe you don't identify as a woman or in those roles that are usually, applied to women, or whatever. But the same energy, and we won't get into this long ramble about it, but all of these energies, masculine, feminine, all of the attributes, all of the actual gender roles, they exist within all of our lives. We all have them within our lives. It's where we choose to activate them. Also where we choose to categorize them. And again, I'm not going to go down that Some of these ideas are a little outmoded. I agree. The language is maybe a little behind. But so I feel like there's a sense of profound understandings coming through. Okay. And I feel like this in some way is tied to this strong family bond. I feel like when you are in these places where you are feeling more connected, and let me tell you, this does not have to be your blood family. This is whoever you consider your family. If it is chosen, if this is a work family, if these are animal companions, which often, those are our closest family members. And that's fully valid. Let me just say, for a long time before, I got married or even met my husband and had my daughter, I lived with my cats for a long time. I was a full cat lady. I still am. I mean, you see these cats all over the place. And they were my family. Some of the best family I've ever had, if I'm being honest. So, I feel there is this bond. It allows for you a security, and openness comes from that security. And so does, these deeper processes. Okay, I feel like you are feeling very confident in your life. I feel like you're out there exploring. And I see we have a question mark right here. And that's the thing, is I think you're really in a place of feeling like you want to be in the things. You want to see the things, beautiful, terrifying, obscure, mainstream, whatever it is. I feel you really have this motivation to get out there and live life. And just I feel this real sense of the emotional waters as well. It's the earth and the water kind of merging. And there is a fertility in those soils. These are soils of refinement. These are waters of life, and uniting them together into something, I think that really does give birth to this new era that you are in. Okay, and we've talked a lot in the last months. Okay, and I know there's been a lot of overcoming and works done. And here we have it looks like a sled or some kind of chariot, and then we have, the kind of reins here. In my mind, I immediately thought of this old lithograph of Saturn. And or maybe it's Kronos. I don't know. They're counterparts. So the Roman and Greek versions of one another. And so this is the timekeeper, right? This is the grandfather. This is the old god. This is that archetype of the refinement of the soils, actually. In alchemy, the first processes are of and under Saturn, right? And this is driving the lead, the heavy metals, out of the prima material, which is the original matter. This is what we build all things from. Okay, and so we must go through the process of refinement. And now in spiritual alchemy or psychological alchemy, this is really going through those beginning processes of shadow work. Okay, beginning the intentional acts of integration. Okay, of getting to know parts of ourselves that we find distasteful, scary, the things that we reject, right? And this is difficult work. This is also where we start to look at some of our trauma, generational, learned, direct traumas, and this is a big deal. It's not a little thing. And this is, in some estimation, sometimes many lifetimes of work. It's not something that we just get it and it's like, hey, I spent like the last, 6 months doing this. I did a workbook. I'm finished. I aced it. It's not exactly that. But I do think that this is something that really is very central in your psyche as well. And I think that's what really leads to this mother archetype being so prominent for you right now, is that on the other side of kind of the coin, you are doing this difficult work with the old father, the grandfather figure, who is scary, right? Very scary. Saturn and his depictions and, ruthlessness, a very kind of cold and unemotional being. And so this is a time when you can really get into places of being destabilized, depersonalization, feeling kind of disenfranchised. What else? Just the melancholy, the beginnings of some, neuroses and so on. But with that mother archetype, really, really in there, this is kind of a protector. And this is who kind of gets in there, holds our hand. If you can imagine walking through kind of a dark lunar valley, and there's big shadows, and it's really, it's hard, it's cold, it's very arid, and you're walking through there, and there's this looming oppressive energy as we are trying to find our way through. But then the mother shows up, right? She shows up and she holds our hand as we would our child through the parking lot, right? One of the scariest places you can have your kids. She grabs your hand really tight and she holds you close as you walk together through those dark places. And you are held and you are loved and you are cared for. And so I feel, you are all these things for yourself. You are your motivator, right? You are your greatest champion. You are the light bearer as well, right? And you are that mother that is unconditionally in love and loving. And so, let's see, what else do we have? I can talk about her all day long. You all know, if you watch my readings, I love talking about the mother goddesses. Okay, so we do have a tree. Okay, and that's a beautiful tree, well formed. And we have, it looks like a bunch of frogs down here, and maybe a little rooster right here. And we know I know. If you haven't seen my other readings, you might not know. I definitely relate the frogs, the toads, to our keepers of the house, right? These are our backyard spirits. They are in the gardens. They are, beneath the porch. They're out by the water, wherever they can. They are, eating the bugs and all of that, and they're watching out for us. They are our protectors. And definitely one of the, main protectors of my own home. We have a lot of frog things around here. And so I feel that there is a sense of, again, protection. But this is more in the physical realm. This is more domestically around your home. I feel like you're probably, excuse me, I'm still a little under the weather. Oh, I'm on the other side of it. I'm getting there. If you heard any of my readings for the last week and a half, it's been, I feel like I sound better than I have, though. So anyways, I feel like in the home that you live, or in the area that you live, or the home that you are hoping to move into, whatever it is, it's a very protected space for you. I think that when you move into this property, or if this is the property that you live in now, this is a place where you will flourish. Okay. And I see with the tree, there's a sense of roots being put down. There's a sense of great abundance. The tree is in full, leaves, and just very lush and beautiful. And so, but there's also room, right? There's room to grow, which is another important thing. You haven't hit the peak of it all. There's still plenty of room to keep going. So, yes, I do feel like this is kind of the place where you will be happy. You will find happiness. You will find some success. And I think there's just an abundance of ease here. Okay. Now, if you're having a hard time finding these things, I think that it's really a good time for you to spend some time making your home, your yard, the area that you live in there, feel more homey to you. Go for some walks. Go hang out in the yard. Put some chairs out there, decorate it a little bit, whatever it is, whatever that, will be the thing to make you feel like this is kind of my space. This is where I feel comfortable. Go ahead and, kind of indulge that, instinct, that nesting kind of instinct. And then with the rooster, we know the rooster is, very virile, and that is another sign of great fertility there. It could be in the physical world. This could also be your creativity or your ability to make money. And I feel, excuse me, I'm so sorry. And I feel that you feel a great pull towards whatever work you are doing, okay? And I think this has a lot to do with where you are at physically. I think that this maybe is one of the first places you've lived where you feel like, okay, this is like my spot. This is, I feel like I could really, see myself here for a long time. Okay. Now we also have a 1. So a 1 is important, whatever that means to you. Okay, let's take a look over here. We have a face. Let's see. I can't. Sometimes this is too bright. Okay, I'm just going to look at it this way. So we have a face. We have the eyes. We have the nose, the mouth. And we have a heart. So it feels like I almost feel like this is like an old love, like a first love, maybe a young love, somebody, I'm sorry. I know, sometimes I just find a piece of my hair is over there. Somebody who you maybe like went to junior high or middle school, I guess it would be. I don't know what you call it where you live. I think where I grew up, we called it both junior high and middle school. But those middle years between grade school, elementary school, and then you go into the high school. But there are those middle years when you're about 11, 12, 13 years old. So right around in there, I wonder. And I almost think that maybe this is like your first love, your first crush, somebody that, you really, you're thinking about them. And I almost wonder if you will reach out to them or if there's some reason why they're coming up. Maybe you're having like a, like a reunion, or you've seen them out in the community, you're visiting home, or they friended you on social media or something. But I think that this is kind of like a nice connection. It's just a nice, I don't think it's anything super important, but it feels like I can just imagine you wondering, thinking, oh, they seem so similar all these years later, Some people seem really different. And then you get to talking to them and you're like, oh, you're like really the same person I knew when we were 10 years old or whatever. For better or worse. But yeah, that's kind of a nice feeling sometimes. Okay, so we have the Happier Me affirmation cards. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of flip through here. I'll stop where it feels right. It says, I release all negative thoughts about the past and all worries about the future. Why worry about something that hasn't happened yet when you can just as easily choose to believe that it will all work out? Let me read it again. Why worry about something that hasn't happened yet when you can just as easily choose to believe that it will all work out? Yes. This is one of my biggest challenges in life. I worry. I mean, not just worry. Like, I just want to get things done immediately. When it's something I have to wait for, come on. It's just like, can I please just do it? And this is the problem, is I think about it at like 3 a.m, and I'm like, I can't make any calls. Can't, get anything. Now, thankfully, with the internet, it's a lot easier because, I'm a little older. I remember back in the day when you had to wait to pay like your power bill or, and I wake up at 3 a.m. I forgot to pay the electric bill or whatever. Now I can just do it online, but, it used to be, I gotta wait. It's like anyways. No catastrophizing. That's our challenge for the weekend. None of that. Okay, Scorpio, I want to say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I love hearing from you. I hope you all had a beautiful new year. I know this video is out a little late. I was so sick the day I was filming for Leo and Scorpio. So it's a little late. But Scorpio will actually be coming out in a couple days again anyway, so you have like 2 in a row. And I just appreciate you being so understanding. I won't say the name of the thing, but I had that respiratory thing we've all spent the last years trying to avoid, and I had it around this time last year as well, so hopefully I get a full year again until it happens. So it was not fun. It's not fun, but I'm getting my smell back, so that's good. But so I hope you all are feeling well and have set your intentions for this year coming up. I think it's going to be a year of great self-evolution. I really feel like that, especially when we have these times that the world seems to be just, ramping up. And, here in America, we have the elections coming up. I don't even think I'm off of social media right now. I don't even feel like I'm going to go back probably for, not because I'm not really a political person necessarily. Of course, we all have our whatever, our our leanings or whatever. But I just can't stand the arguing and the posturing and all of the stuff. It gives me a headache. I just want everybody to get along. So anyways, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yes, I do think that a lot of us are turning to our inward work and, really finding one another, strength in those bonds. And that is so important. And so the work, it is so much about lifting each other up and raising the vibration, the collective, and all of that. And I feel like this year's going to be a good year for that. So anyways, Scorpio, I love you. We'll talk in a few days. Thank you, thank you, thank you.